On today's Minute of the Apes, what the hell is a hugger mugger?
What is it?
I mean,
That's a load of hugger mugger.
Wait, there's like yoga mats and...
It's a yoga mat product, a hugger mugger.
We are a relatively family-oriented show. Don't either one of you go down the wrong path of hugger muggers.
Oh, what does dictionary.com say?
A dictionary.com said... I can't use my words.
Disorder or confusion or muddle.
Secrecy or reticence.
Why would you want to name your yoga mat a disorder of confusion or muddle?
Maybe it's the verb to keep secret or concealed. Hush up.
You use a hugger mugger.
Hey, origin. What? It comes from 1520 to 1530. It's a rhyming compound based on mucker, the Middle English mokerin, which means to hoard.
Oh my God, we're back to Shakespearean ways.
That's a load of hugger mugger.
By the way, this is the longest.
British, right, Dane?
This is the longest tease we've ever done.
Today's Minute of the Apes. That's a load of hugger mugger.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. Learning is of the divine bound. It is our only reason for survival. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human! The Minute of the Apes. The Minute of the Apes. The Minute of the Apes. The Minute of the Apes.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every Planet of the Apes movies 1 minute at a time. And I stumble through that word because I can't quit thinking of hugger mugging. Hugger mugger.
Well, it was in reviewing, kind of going over the minute. Have you played the minute yet?
No, we have not played the minute yet.
Okay.
All right, let's get through our regular stuff. Then we'll get
do
to
your regular
that.
stuff. We'll talk about the minute.
So, to be fair to Richard, we edit these in post. He's not just having a senior moment or anything. We edit these in post.
Whoa, too soon.
A little column A, a little column B.
Shoot.
Sean, tell us what's going on.
We're going to start minute 30 with one of the panel members asking if Cornelius knew a Colonel Taylor, and it ends with the press yelling at Dr. Hassline.
Here we go with minute 30 of Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Did you know a Colonel Taylor?
No. Is he a soldier?
We are peaceful creatures. We are happy to be here. May we be unchained?
Gentlemen, do you have any? No comment. General. Mr. Chairman, a word.
I'll give you one. Preposterous.
Well, can you define that, Mr. Chairman?
Just let me say this. As head of this commission, it will be our duty to sift through the facts of this bizarre affair and pass our conclusions on to the President of the United States for implementation.
What a load of hugger-mugger.
Dr. Hassline. Oh, Dr. Hassline.
As minute 30, we have a planet's worth of humans plus 2 living apes and 1 dead ape.
Okay.
Well, we'll get to hugger mugger.
Oh, damn it. Screw you, Sean. Richard and I want a hug a mug right now.
That's a load of hugger mugger.
We got yoga mat.
That's a load of yoga mat.
Okay, so we are in the final moments within this hearing, and here comes the question that we kind of wish they would ask.
Yes.
Right. Do you know
Colonel Taylor?
Taylor, not Brent.
Taylor.
Brent was the scrub who went up. But
Taylor. They showed up in Taylor's ship, though.
Yeah.
So that's why they would ask.
But still,
but
they
you
sent somebody to find him. Why wouldn't
you
say?
If one ship was there, you can assume, or you may make the assumption that the second ship made it there, so why not go ahead and ask about both of them?
And Cornelius has already said, I've known 2 humans that could speak. Was that not Cornelius who said that?
There was
Zero?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Bring on.
But why just ask about Taylor or Brent? Why not ask about Stewart? Why not ask about Dodge? I mean,
that
4 people, at least 6 people went into the future.
Yeah. Why do we ask about it? Because it's convenient to the story and we're trying to relate it together.
Yep. Nobody gives a crap about Landon. Poor Landon.
Poor Landon. Poor Dodge.
Poor Stewart.
Zero is the one who
Screw
says
Stewart. She was just a space zombie.
Zero is the one who said she's discovered two who could talk in her life. She's
Okay.
not necessarily referencing that stuff.
But
And then-
she's discovered two, and it's a fair assumption then that if everyone else is dumb, that I've sent two. Could you have
Well, I mean, she's-
have you met any of our astronauts? You could ask that.
Cornelia says when the spacecraft landed on her seaboard, he salvaged it, suggesting that it had been destroyed.
Right.
Right? So,
Well, salvage means in this case, I think meant sunk, so they're reclaiming it.
I mean, I started this, the last minute by mistake. Do you know Colonel Taylor? It's a good question to ask. I'm surprised it wasn't asked earlier, but based upon the stuff they said, they're kind of hinting that they didn't know him just because it landed, it was salvaged. She's only known two humans that have talked in her examination of thousands of humans.
Well, yeah, she's being deliberately obtuse about that. She's trying to hide it because whenever they ask, and Cornelius he looks at her and she gives him that little no head shake.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I mean, that was a random tell. That was like if I were on the panel, I'd be like, oh, they know who Colonel Taylor is. Like,
Well, I mean, also you can she might have met
Words,
Taylor.
Sean.
I know, use my words.
use it.
She might have met Taylor, but she might have never known his name. So she could have met a Taylor and not known she met a Taylor.
And which brings me back to
And so she could be saying, "Have you ever met a Taylor?" And she shakes her head, "No," because no, we've never met a Taylor. And he goes, "No."
which brings me back to that the more pertinent question is, did you you've come here via the vehicle
that we sent.
Did you encounter any of
the pilots of this
vehicle?
Would be a better
Something
question?
Yes, would be more
Okay.
apropos to it and would actually encompass all of it. Because who's to say they didn't meet Skipper?
Yeah.
They don't know who
You
lived
returned
and who died.
in a ship that we created and sent out. We sent a crew of 4 out there. Did you meet any of them ever?
Right.
The next, his reply to the question, do you know Colonel Taylor? There's the dramatic pause between him and Zira, which tells, basically. Cornelia says, no, is he a soldier? It's the naval officer who asked the question, do you know Colonel Taylor? Mm-hmm. The name Colonel is in the title. So it's a little unusual for Cornelius to say, is he a soldier? Asking a question of something that would be apparent from even the title description being made. So, but it was a doorway for Zero to say, we are peaceful creatures. Is he a soldier, a military officer? And then that's, I think, why it was phrased that way.
I don't doubt it. But you're also having characters play with ideas and information that they technically shouldn't have. When you go back to, again, they don't know that. Why is Taylor your superstar? These characters don't know who survived and what happened in the space flight to the planet.
So yeah, why are they pointing
So
out
they
that?
would not have that information, and that's why it's kind of a stupid question. But I get what Zira is doing, which is steering it back, and I like that. I kind of dig how she does that, but.
But why are they lying about knowing Taylor?
Oh, that's going to open up a whole... I mean, how do you describe all of that?
Yeah.
We found the 3 astronauts. We experimented on 2 of them. We met Colonel Tanner. We became really, really good friends. We helped him escape Ape City
We
because Ape
stuffed
was
one
crazy.
of your astronauts and put him in a museum.
We ate another one's brains with some fava beans.
That's a conversation. I mean, it's one of those things where, is that a conversation you would have in
front
a
of this
private
panel?
discussion in front of a smaller group of people about what happened so they can understand what's going on? Or would you want that information in public so you have the public's approval and a public as a witness?
Yeah.
When you interrogate these apes in this council, wouldn't this questioning be the first thing you ask?
Have you met any? How did you get back here?
Once you find out they talk.
Once you could establish they can speak and you can converse, would this not be the... And then you put almost on the projection screen, here are all the astronauts.
Have you met any of them?
How did you come into this? Did you
How did you
encounter
in
any
their
of
vehicle?
them?
Yeah.
And then they could go these two, Brent and Taylor.
There still might have been in the discovery that they are intelligent apes. They might have had more questions about how they became intelligent first before they moved into it. That's the next part that I think where that would have come from. Do you know Colonel Taylor? No, is he a soldier? Zero standing up to plead their case before the council, which actually wins over the audience, right? Mm-hmm. We are peaceful creatures. We are happy to be here. May we be unchained. And that's basically how this entire moment just kind of ends because the audience stands up and applauds.
Yeah, what garners the slow clap building of
a director
we're peaceful
saying
creatures unchain us?
Well, also the shift of the conversation, it's kind of an odd unchain me moment, but again, you need to draw to conclusion. You need to have them move beyond. And so what do? You have everybody who loves them. Once again, we've got the laugh track behind them and they applaud for them.
Right. And it ends the scene. It does get a moment where the council can no longer give them questions,
Right.
Because the audience is now behind the
True.
attending audience is now behind the gorillas. There's nothing they can do at this point that would not seem aggressive to two peaceful creatures, right? Clearly, the audience did not hear the dissect,
Yeah.
right? They just kind of moved on. It was a sudden ending. It was an ending that needed to happen because we can't stay in this scene the entire time. Asking to be unchained as peaceful creatures is an appeal that I think worked. I liked.
It does work. When I'm picking that apart, the one thing I want to say is that even when you can pick it apart and say these are weird choices and all this film works. There is no question that even though why does the audience applaud and do these kind of things, and I can bemoan and say it's a laugh track type approach, it works because I'm like, hell yeah, unchain them. I love them. They're not going to hurt you. I'm just simply going along with this is a weirdly constructed when you break it down minute by minute.
Right. So then we jump to then outside, and we have all of the members of the commission exiting, right? And we have the reporters kind of trying to get in their face. Mr. Chairman, a word. I love the chairman says, I'll give you one word. Preposterous. I'm like, why was he just witnessed all of this stuff? What
Changed his mind between
I thought the same thing. I'm like,
sitting there and walking out.
unless it's political posturing. Because now what I need to do is get ahead of the story that's eventually going to hit the media.
True.
And back in that day and age where it was less of an immediate media saturation, there was time for him to get ahead of it before it got out there.
We didn't talk about the sketch artist that they did a couple of shots from his angle. So
Well,
that's
I Sean is that Stanley Kubrick because it looks like Stanley Kubrick over to the side sketching.
right. It was just kind of this random. We had to look over his shoulder twice.
Right.
And so the preposterous, the reporters will do that. And that's the sketch that's going to be in the papers. I want to see that paper. You know?
I want to become a sketch artist because that's where I could draw as well as some of them.
So he kind of defines it. He says, as head of the commission, it will be our duty to sift through the facts from this bizarre affair and pass our conclusion on to the president for implementation. The original instruction in the script was for instrumentation.
For what?
Yeah. As head of this commission, it will be our duty to sift the facts from this bizarre affair and pass our conclusion on to the president of the United States for instrumentation. And he says implementation. And I kind of wonder if that was just like a difference between a British use and an American use.
Maybe.
So he leaves, and that's when we actually get the awesome line, because everybody heard it, right? What a load of hugger-mugger. It's one of the reporters, and it's in the script, and it's so audible that you can't help but hear it. Otherwise, the other ones are going, hubba, 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 hubba. Right, you can't, yeah. Watermelon cantaloupe, you can't hear what they're saying. But that line is specifically outlined. Dane, spoken by a reporter, Dane actually instructs them. The chairman moves on, leaving the reporters, cynics all, with a bit of egg on their face. And I don't know why.
I don't sense even from anything about that they have egg on their face.
But that's why we get the line, what a load of hugger-mugger. Is it because he won't answer their question and they're going to talk in private?
Because he's doing the political posturing and doing all that. I promise you this. I don't know when. I don't know where. You two will get hugger-buggered at some point on this podcast. I'm just
Hugger-buggered?
Hugger-mugger.
Mugger?
Yes.
Hugger-mugger.
Mugger.
Hugger-mugger.
Mugger.
Mugger. Hugger-mugger.
See, I don't turn on the captions like you.
I
wouldn't want
to be hugger-buggered.
I wouldn't want to bugger a yoga mat.
I actually like the hugger-bugger. I might tell my wife about that tonight.
You do a hugger-bugger.
What's a hugger-bugger?
Can you draw that out for me?
I did notice
Is that in the same command position?
It is. In fact, I think it may be the same thing.
I did notice in one of the shots with all the reporters out there, there's like a cameraman that's just taking pictures of the back of the speaker's head.
That's what happens when you put a camera in
Bunch of
someone's hand and
extras,
it has no battery or anything in it. And
No
they're just
film.
doing that and just pointing.
Well, you do want to see some flashes coming in this direction for the camera. You almost need that kind of action.
But here's what's interesting about getting this, the coming and going through the press. So Sean and I talked when we were watching the minute before this. You can obviously tell it's shot at the exact same setup time. They simply did it. They reversed their angle, whatever, but same setup. That's almost what we kind of missed in the first film, is that we never get the populace reaction until Taylor's out within it. And I kind of know why you can't, because, you can't have him exposed that he can speak and whatnot until the moment that he's going to run through the streets and they're assaulting him and he speaks. But you've got this cattle call of people that completely are the continued idea that the media is hovering over this